mean to you, Martin? And did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a good time. It was great. Just to again just to feel the respect and know that all the how many people appreciate the way you treated them and kind of your approach to racing and doing this job and all that it entails and the relationships you build, and it was very fun, very cool to just share stories with everyone and talk about things that had happened and just enjoy it and know we all have a lot to be proud of.
So was that a time where you really have reflected more than maybe you had been this year?
I think a lot of those relationships, you talk about past racing memories with certain people all the time. Every time you see, like, oh man, remember this time, such and such, we did this. And Slugger, talking to Slugger, who I've been around since like 2003, I guess it would be. Just stories like he brought up something funny, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. That was stupid, but so you have those relationships. But when you put together something like last night, it's like that's the whole topic of the night, right? It's all like reminiscing and talking about things. So it was cool, and there was a few things I'd forgotten about.
What do you feel when people say you're a clean racer? Are you proud of that?
Yeah, I am. I think I'd say we for sure earned every win we ever got. We didn't have to do anything dirty to get any wins. So that's a good feeling, I think.
When you think about the word proud in your career, what are you most proud of that you were able to accomplish?
Obviously the championship, but more than that, just the the amount of starts and never missing a race and never getting hurt, and always being there and giving it my all, never letting up, and that's kind of why I'm here. It's time to let off the gas a little bit. I've been going with all I have for over 20 years, just giving it everything I have every single day. So I guess that just staying around, winning races for over a long period of time, and having a dominant season in the Cup Series is something I'll never forget.
We know the 500 in February, and you've talked about potentially a handful of other races, races that you would enjoy doing. But is there anything at all you're going to miss about full-time racing, or are you content with this chapter of your career?
I am content. I am content. I'm happy. I'm excited about the future. I don't have any regrets. I wish I won more races. I think who doesn't when they're done? So I feel great about it, and I'm excited about the future. And I still get to come around and have some fun and ask people why they suck and why they're not winning. What's wrong with your car? What's wrong with your team? Why aren't things going right? What are you guys doing? It'll be fun.
Will you keep an eye at all on how Chase is doing in the 19 car next year?
I think overall I'll just keep an eye on the sport in general. Like I don't have any, I'm not worried about how it's going to go for certain teams. Or obviously JGR is important to me, and I'm sure I'm still going to be doing some things with them behind the scenes. So obviously I'll pull for them and hope they have some highlights and a great season, but I don't know I'll be too invested in certain drivers or anything like that.
It's only been 2 weeks, Martin, but do you feel any different? Like, does the stress or anything go away of not being in that full-time bubble anymore?
Yeah. I haven't planned anything yet for next year. Like it's stressful. Like, all right, here's where we're going testing. What are we doing for this? What are we doing for that? Who's all our guys coming back? What's our guys working on? What's the engineering working on? When are we starting in the simulator? Like, just all that stuff. It's not a worry.
Earlier you mentioned you spoke to Barney Visser. You've spoken to Cole Pern since...
I haven't talked to Cole since Martinsville. He was a little upset after that race about how things went. That's the last I've talked to him. But yeah, Cole's great. I think he's going to come be my crew chief for the 500. So we'll have fun with that.
Ask him to come back on social media. It was very valuable to him.
I think he knows better.
As you're heading out the door here, is there anything that you think needs to be changed with this playoffs scenario? Or? Do you like it?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of things lately, especially. I think, I don't know. I think it's the NASCAR's court there, obviously, but we got to find a way to get the best teams of the whole year to the end, and obviously, it was a great final race. The guys that ended up winning, they were up front all day. It was a good battle. I just don't know. It depends on who you ask, I think. If you win 5-6 races a year, you probably should be in the Final Four. It's hard to do that. I think it's harder to do that than it is to just. If you're at a place that's good at a certain track and that's where the championship race is, you got a pretty big advantage. I don't like that part of it. I hate that part of it because the whole body of work throughout the season is what should make you a champion. But I get that it's got to narrow. It's got to come to playoffs, and there's got to be more on the line for those later races. Maybe it needs to be like the last 3 races are determine the champion, not just the last one. I think that would be a good way to go. But they'll do it whatever they feel is the best.
Yeah. And in the same respect, you look at baseball or football, sometimes the best team doesn't always win, right? I mean,
100%. That's 100%. You're correct. So, I mean, that's kind of, I think, what they look at.
We've seen.
The only thing else I'll say is, sorry,
Good.
football, baseball, basketball, whatever, they play on the same court every week. They're playing the same game. Racing is different. Like, there's guys and teams that'll go to a certain track for years and be the guys to beat, and it takes a while to figure that out. So, so much is about timing. Like for us, it was good timing to make the Final Four and go to Homestead because we were good at that period of time at Homestead. We were really good. Like we had just figured it out. The year, those 2 or 3 years right in there. So. Timing, right place, right time, and here you are. Joey's a 3-time champion. That's the way it is.
We've seen driver aggression go up in recent years. Do you consider driver racing etiquette? Do you consider that to be kind of gone too far? Is there a problem?
Getting there. I mean, we've seen it go too far this year, right? Like NASCAR had to step in at one race. So, I think for me, just looking back over the years, it's been a steady progression of, racing getting rougher and less respectful at lower levels, and I've watched it for years just creeping up. Then it's in the trucks, then it's in Xfinity, and now it's in Cup. It's just a different era. It's a different era of driver, the way they come up through racing, and now they're in the Cup Series these days, and so it's changed a lot since I started.
Is there a way to kind of get back to that or fix it, or is it kind of just like it is what it is and there's not much you can do at this point?
I don't know if there's any turning back now. I mean, it's so competitive. The way the cars are now, and the aero blocking and the ability to not be able to get close to the guy in front of you, all that stuff. It's just every position is heavily guarded, and there's no give and take anymore. It's all take, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and you said you don't have any plans next year set, but I assume will you be involved? I guess more behind the scenes with Ryan and whatever racing he ultimately does next year.
Probably the same as usual. I mean, I think just trying to help figure out, what he's going to do, and then just being there for somebody to bounce ideas off of, or if he has questions, same as always.
Okay. And it's in the 2 weeks since Phoenix ended, what have you done?
I've been in the woods the whole time.
I figured. So. All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mark.
Midget anytime soon, maybe in your own state.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be racing at some point. I don't know what my schedule looks like now. I'm sure I'll figure it out within the next couple weeks. But right now, I don't have anything on the docket. But I am hopeful to get a schedule out soon.
What do you think about the overall competition level of JGR with Gapehart moving to the competition director role?
I think it's going to be. It has potential to help out all the teams. Gapehart is a incredibly smart person. He was a huge asset to the 11 car, and I think moving him to oversee the crew chiefs and be able to provide input and knowledge and just kind of keep all of the teams in line is a solid move, and I think it has potential to increase the performance of all the teams.
Christopher, with what do you want to look to do with your dirt schedule as you look to form it? Is that I guess what's your philosophy going to be on how much you want to race, or if you want to race?
So one thing that I typically do whenever it comes to dirt racing is I don't really like to make a schedule. I really just kind of go week by week, and if my week turns out to be quiet, I'll look for opportunities to go race, and then a matter of who has a car available, what car I can get in, and stuff like that. So I'm definitely not going to make a schedule, so to say, but I'll just kind of take it week by week, and then it's nice to know that it is in my hands and our competition staff's hands. So I think I'm excited about it, and I'm certainly looking forward to reconnecting with my dirt fans.
It's too late for Chili Bowl this year, correct? Or might we still see you in Tulsa this year?
No, it's definitely not too late. Right now, I don't have any plans to do it. I've got a couple of things personally that's going on, but you never know. You never know.
How much do you want to get back there?
Yeah, I love the Chili Bowl. I can tell you that I will be at the Tulsa Shootout. I'm not sure if I'm going to be driving or not, but I will be there. My father-in-law's got a team there. I'll have my cars. I will be at the Shootout regardless of if I'm racing or not. And then, aside from that, I don't have anything planned yet. I got some stuff going on I got to sort through, and then I'll be Team Dirt Racing.
What is it? I think a lot of people would be excited about the opportunity to see you and Kyle race on dirt again. Obviously, race every week, but think back to some of the battles you guys have had on dirt. He says he hopes he gets to do it, but he hopes he gets to beat you a few more times. What would it mean to be able to race Kyle? I mean, not only to get back on dirt, but to be able to race Kyle and what you guys have been able to do in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have the upper hand for a little bit. He's got a 2-year head start on me, so I'm going to have to get my dirt shoes underneath me again and get back up to speed. But I hope at some point I can get back up to speed. That's going to be the tough part, is just being out of the car for so long, and hopefully it's like riding a bike. I guess we're about to find out.
What will determine whether you race at Tulsa or not for the shootout?
I just have some personal stuff that I got to sort through before I make that decision.
Do you use the way this year ended as extra motivation for this coming year, or do you almost have to compartmentalize that to not let it kind of be overbearing, so to speak?
I mean, it definitely leaves me optimistic and hopeful for, what's to come. And, I've said the same thing literally for the past 2 years or 3 years now after the season's over, that we still haven't performed up to our potential. And the 20 team keeps setting new highs and new personal bests, but even this year we left a ton on the table. So it just makes me optimistic and excited about what's to come, and knowing that we can perform better than we did this year.
I did hear y'all might have some pretty good drivers for the Tulsa Shootout.
I think we're lining up to be in a good spot. We need some redemption from last year.
Since you mentioned leaving a lot on the table, JGR's last win of the year all across the board ended up being New Hampshire. So
crazy, absolutely crazy.
How frustrating is not only for you but just the team as a whole to have so many great cars in the second half of the season and just not have a single win?
Yeah, I mean that's just part of what goes to my last comments, where that's sad that Loudon was our last win, because looking back at it, Nashville was a potential win, Chicago was a potential win, Vegas was a potential win. Like there's so many races that happened in between our last win and the end of the year that we let slip away. So we need to clean it up, and if we keep bringing the same car potential back to the racetrack, I think that hopefully I will be able to do my job and close the races out.
What was your high point for last year?
My high point?
Yeah, if you had to look back at a race that was a high point for you, I mean, what would you think that would have been?
Man, I mean, honestly, Vegas was one of our all-around best days. We didn't get the win, but, as a team, the pit crew, Adam's strategy, myself driving, we executed that day almost perfectly. And yeah, I would say Vegas was one of our best races that we had all year. Charlotte was shaping up to be. It's a shame that it got shortened because I would have loved to seen it go the distance, but I felt like Charlotte had that potential of I didn't start up front and lead at the beginning of the race, but it felt like similar to Vegas, how Vegas turned out. So I think that those two races stand out. And Phoenix was awesome. Gateway was awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of highs for sure.
What is a long time to think about this? But
in the playoffs? Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
I was going to say that's what I wanted to ask.
The round of 16 and the round of 12 is those have turned into the super good, exciting rounds where I think a lot of us will say that we can kind of control our own destiny. Talladega being added to the round of 8 is really scary, but there are some positives to it too. I think the likelihood of a round of 8 driver winning at Talladega is slightly decreased compared to being at a Homestead or Vegas or Martinsville. So it might open up another points position. But yeah, I mean it's the Talladega in the round of 8 is going to be wild.
This might be a silly question, but are you someone that participates in New Year's resolutions? And if so, have you done it in the past? Is there one maybe on the racing side you'd like to do in 2025?
Yeah, I have not. I've never done that.
Do you have any special plans for the off season? Have you done anything fun so far? Or has it kind of just been business as usual for the moment?
I've been in hibernation. I've just been chilling, taking it easy, watching footballs on Saturday and Sunday. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the next little bit. It'll be, it seems like after New Year's. After New Year's is whenever it's back to work. And so I've been enjoying my time off.
Thank you.
Do you ever get a chance to go take trips or anything during the off season? Is there places you want to go explore at all?
Some people go on vacation during the off season, but for me, it's always been after traveling for so long. Like I enjoy my time at home. I took a vacation during the off week a couple years ago. I think I have another one scheduled for the off week next year. But yeah, it just for me, it's always enjoyable and refreshing to just be home and whenever the season's over, just have no travel on the calendar. Nancy, even though she's got some travel planned for me, but yeah.
They're small trips.
Yeah, no travel on the calendar and being at home. That's what I enjoy.
So more of just, going to like local restaurants and stuff that you enjoy.
I mean, yeah, but we cook at home, so it literally is just camping on the couch.
Perfect.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Come back soon for more great racing videos. And if you like us, make sure to hit that subscribe button.